Hey everyone, I'm Unova here, and here I am with another commentary. You guys remember my first commentary on Meta527ii's top 15 worst Unova Pokemon countdown? Well, that commentary I did was terrible, but ever since that commentary, I've been watching some other commentary made by other superior commentators, particularly commentaries made by Rashitsu, aka Rashitsu Rises, and Supersonic407. Their commentaries taught me on how I can be a pro at commentaries. But anyways, the video I'm going to be commentating on is going to be a video by the same person from my last commentary. That's right, it's Meta. This time, I will be commentating on his top 10 least favorite video game bosses. I was originally going to be commentating on the 2013 version of his top 15 most hated video game characters countdown, but then I saw his least favorite bosses list and I had to change of plan. Like I said before, my first commentary on him was filled with flaws, and some of those flaws included proving his point or saying something random where it's not needed. So to prevent those flaws from happening, I'm going to skip some parts that I had nothing to say about, since I also don't want this commentary to be filled with long parts of me saying nothing. So, with that out of the way, let's begin. And just like my last commentary, I'll be skipping his intro. I'll also be skipping his opening sentence, since, just like I said in the beginning of this video, there's something I have to say about it.
You know that we're going to be in for a rough time when young Xehanort is only number 10 on the list.
Wow, even you admit that your least favorite boss in the Kingdom Hearts series is only number 10 on the list. Loving your first impression, dude.
I'm telling you, Shade, the Terminator could beat Optimus Prime with both hands behind his back.
You know what? I've already talked about young Xehanort enough in the past. What else is there to talk about?
Now, I do respect the fact that you don't want to sound too repetitive, but it wouldn't hurt for you to elaborate on why young Xehanort is such a bad boss again. I mean, there might be some viewers who haven't heard of your earlier rants on young Xehanort. I may have heard your rants on him before this countdown was made, but still. Also, didn't you rant about the level Kamek Revenge from Yoshi's Island multiple times in the past? And yet you didn't seem to have a problem repeating yourself on it.
But if I were to end this entry here, you people would bombard me with complaints saying, this entry's too short! So it looks like I have no choice but to make this a very redundant entry.
Wouldn't it make more sense for you to say that you had no choice but to make this a very repetitive entry? Repetitive and redundant aren't the same thing, last time I checked.
Xehanort will constantly teleport around, throwing fast attacks on you that would make Meta Knight proud.
Is that really the best comparison you could have made with young Xehanort's fast combo attacks? Yes, I know, Meta Knight was OP back in the Brawl days, but couldn't you find something else who had even faster combo attacks than Meta Knight? I mean, Meta Knight isn't really fast outside of Brawl.
And I keep telling you that Optimus Prime is at least 50 feet tall. His foot could beat the Terminator in half a second.
And if you don't break it in time, young Xehanort will use it to gain back a third of his HP and make you have to fight him again.
You could have also brought the fact that when young Xehanort regains a third of his health, you have to sit through a painfully long unskippable cutscene before you can fight him again. I know that A, you don't want to repeat yourself since you already said that 3 times in the past, and B, it's not part of the gameplay, but still, wouldn't hurt to talk about it.
There, I talked about him again. Are you happy now?
Oh, I'm happy, alright. In all seriousness, not really, and neither would anyone who've heard you rant about young Xehanort in the past. So then again, I guess some viewers who haven't heard your previous rants on him wouldn't mind. And to think, this fight is only number 10.
Most infamous boss in all of Mega Man, the Yellow Devil is rightfully hated by many.
Question. When you meant all of Mega Man, do you just mean the first Mega Man game on the NES, or the entire Mega Man series? Because, well, while I wouldn't say that the Yellow Devil is a good boss, I bet a lot of people would think of another boss worse than him. The Booming Trap of Mega Man 2 comes to mind. True, the original Mega Man game did not age well compared to its sequel, so the Yellow Devil had its reasons to be a bad boss battle, but still.
Guys, what are you doing? We were supposed to. Oh my fucking god, what the hell did you guys do?
And to think, Capcom had the audacity to bring this atrocious fight back in some of their games. Why?
I don't know, but there are just some video game developers who just love bringing back bosses from previous games, whether it's good or bad. And then, I guess Capcom here is no exception. Also, you were showing footage of the fight against Yellow Devil Mark II in the second game. That was a game that introduced a slide move. Thus, making avoiding the Devil's Fragment much easier. True, it also gains a new attack where 5 pieces become 1 and bounces to the other side corner of the arena, but whatever. And as for the argument about Capcom bringing the Yellow Devil boss fight back in some of their games, well, the only other games, aside from the third one, which I just mentioned, that Yellow Devil boss formula appeared in are Mega Man 8, 9, and 10. In Mega Man 8, all you still have the slide move, and it still does have that attack where he splits into fragments and moves to the other side of the arena. It will mostly just dissolve into goo and either reforms on the random side of the arena or create gooey forms using its eye. Mega Man 9 had 2 medium-sized devils that you fight as an individual boss. One would be up and the other would be down. And like the Yellow Devil, they create fragments of themselves, except they pass their fragments on to each other. Capcom removed the slide move in that game, so like the first Yellow Devil, you need to time your jumps pretty carefully. Though, I don't know if this boss is as annoying as the Yellow Devil from the first game, as I never actually played 9. And unless you count this one, the Block Devil from Mega Man 10 is essentially a combination of the Yellow Devil and Pika-Pika-Kun from Mega Man 2. Like Pika-Pika-Kun, this battle involves you in a room with blocks flying at you, except instead of 2 blocks being together and attack you, 14 blocks will create a giant block in the middle of a room, leaving pitfalls on the ground and spikes on the walls and ceilings. You only attack the Block Devil when its eyes enters the giant block. While Capcom do highlight the colors of the block that turns into the Block Devil in the arena, like 9, you can't fly in this game. So when the blocks fly at you, jump with perfect timing, especially when 2 blocks fly at you. Except like 9, I have not yet played 10, so I have no idea if it's just as annoying as the Yellow Devil from the first game. The Green Devil was also the first boss of Mega Man base, but due to limitations and small arena, the Green Devil in that game doesn't split into fragments that fly at you. So it's just easy compared to the other devil battles. Keep in mind that I'm not including spin-offs where a Yellow Devil-like boss fight appeared, like Mega Man 5 for the Game Boy, or the Mega Man arcade games.
That's like if the Zelda series had to keep bringing back the Water Temple. I mean the actual Water Temple.
This joke failed for 3 reasons. 1. The Yellow Devil appeared in the first Mega Man game. However, the Water Temple didn't appear in the first Zelda game. I know it's still pretty infamous, but still. 2. I understand why you show footage of the Lake Bed Temple since it's also not a really good water level in Zelda, but how about a water level in Zelda worse than a Lake Bed Temple? Lake Bed Temple comes to mind. And 3. Normally, when people make jokes like that, they show full screen footage of something similar to what they're describing before cutting off to the real thing. But you didn't. You used that joke via split screens, just to show off your fancy new video editing. Don't get me wrong, it looks good, but there are better times you can execute it.
Not now, Shadow. Shade, how many times do I have to say that size doesn't matter? You should know what I mean about that.
And if you lose all your lives to this thing, it's back to going through the hardest level in the game again.
Now, I won't stop people for calling this the hardest level in the original Mega Man, but I just hope that people will stop questioning on how Wily is able to check on all of his own death spikes in that level without getting gore on them ever since Peanut 3423 joked about them in the original version of his top 10 worst video game cliches list.
I really don't understand what people like about K. Rool Duel and Donkey Kong Country 2. Now, please don't take that the wrong way. I respect other people's opinions, but I personally don't see what makes it so great.
Meta, we all have different tastes when it comes to different things in video games. For example, a boss can be liked by many, but one might not see why. In your case, you're not the biggest fan of the final bosses of the Donkey Kong Country game, except for the one in Diddy Kong's Double Trouble. I'm not gonna bash you on your opinions because it's just you who has a different taste when it comes to the final bosses of the Donkey Kong Country series.
If you know me, you know that I can't stand boss fights where you're in a room that's way too small and usually don't do anything other than avoid a series of attacks that hurt the opponent when you get your chance, unless there's a certain twist to it.
The only reason why you would think the arena is way too small despite being about 2 screens long is because the Donkey Kong Country trilogy on the SNES sprites are big. So it's mostly the huge hitboxes problem rather than the arenas.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Like the Yellow Devil, you're dealing with objects constantly flying at you, except this fight lasts so much longer, And not only can he damage you, but he can also freeze you and reverse directions.
Don't forget he also has the ability to fade into thin air, and not only can he rush at you while he's invisible and won't show himself till he's stopped, but he can also appear out of thin air on a random spot in the arena and try to use a suction attack before vanishing again, and you keep doing it until you throw a cannonball at him. I do not have beaten Donkey Kong Country 2 yet, but I've seen gaming footage of the final boss, and while I can't really form an opinion on the final boss I haven't yet beaten, I can still do sufficient research on it to point out what you got wrong, or in this case, what you have missed.
He also has that trick where he makes you think you won, but then gets back up. This wouldn't be too bad, except after a while it gets tiresome and only delays this awful fight.
Another question, how many times does K. Rool use that trick? Because like I said, I've seen footage of the final boss against him in Donkey Kong Country 2, and from what I can gather, he only used that trick once. After knocking it out the second time, he may get back up, but Donkey Kong frees himself and finishes K. Rool off. Unless you're referring to the first time K. Rool pulled that trick, back when you fought him as the final boss in the first Donkey Kong Country game, but making that trick in DKC2 old and tiresome.
I remember saying this was a disappointing final boss back in 2011. Man, was it really that long since I last ranted on this boss?
Yup, 7 years ago, Meta. 7 years ago. Well, I give you some credit. At least you do look back on your own work.
I've heard people say this isn't the actual final boss, but the fight with him in Crocodile Core is. I've heard the Crocodile Core fight with him in the post-game is much worse, but I wouldn't know since I don't know if I'd be able to get that far.
And by that, do you mean you don't know if you can reach him in Crocodile Core? Well, I wouldn't blame you since A, DKC2 is a difficult game, and B, getting to him in Crocodile Core requires finding and completing every bonus level in the game to get all the Kremlin coins and beating all the Lost Worlds level. So I want to ask, when did you start playing this game? 2011 or earlier than that? Since I didn't see DKC2 in any of your top games you've played in certain year series, which by the way started in 2012. And judging by what you said in your top 10 most hated video game level, you said that you like to play the game as a completionist, depending if the side quests are enjoyable or not. So unless the game is like the original Castlevania on the NES, I don't see why you would have no reason to completing the conquest for years. What? Were collecting all the Kremlin coins not too enjoyable for you enough? Oh well, at least this conquest is more forgiving than the next game we're going to talk about.